Okay, all right. So file handling is extremely important. Now files you already know, they could be text files, they could be other files. Now how do you handle those in Python? How do you read those, write those, and all of those we will see now. So there are two ways to open a file. Okay, one is you use this open. Okay, and second thing is I mean you directly use this open. Second thing is you make use of with open. Okay, so either you make use of open or you make use of with open. These are the two ways you you can open the files. The most recommended way of opening a file is with open. Okay, so what happens when you open a file is, if you open a file you will also have to close it. Okay, otherwise that file will continue to remain open. And if you want to do second operation on that file, which you had opened and you did first operation, right? You opened the file, you did its operation, but you forgot to close. Again you want to go back to the same file and want to operate on the same file, it won't work. Okay, so that is why, because simply because you have not closed it. After doing whatever you are doing some operation, you have to close it. Okay, that you remember. um, so this is one way. But if you make use of with open, the file is automatically closed for you. That way even if you forget, you don't have to worry about uh, receiving any errors for not closing. So this is my recommended way. Okay, this is what I would choose um, to operate on files. All right, let's look at one simple way on how to open a file. Let me type the second one, with open. Okay, with open as f, or any pointer basically. Okay, with open as file. Okay, and I will talk why I have there should be something inside this open. I will come back to that. And here you can type file dot read. Okay, or you can, if you want, you can do file dot write. Okay, or whatever basically you wanna uh, do. You can also seek and all of those. I will talk about one by one, but here I'm just trying to explain you the syntax. If you notice, there are two keywords. One is with, another one is as. Okay, so this as is acting as a alias. Okay, you know aliasing, right? So aliasing means you are going to give a temporary name to the file, and that temporary name is file itself. I have chosen file. Usually developers use f. Okay, f is preferred, but you can write whatever you want, so it's there is no restriction for that. um, let's just say you're working on some JSON file, you can just type JSON underscore file here, makes sense. Okay, if you're operating on some other text file, um, you can just type text underscore file. Okay, so that would make sense in that scenario. Okay, or you can go on to use f is also just fine. Now f is a pointer. Okay, f is a pointer, by default going to point in the beginning of the file. Okay, now let me quickly create a text file here. Let's just say some file .txt. Hello students. Okay, how are you? So this is some file I have created. I'll save it and I will demonstrate how to open that. Now let's just say I want to open the file. I will use with open. I need to know two things. Okay, one, I need to know the name of the file. Here I will write, okay, name of the file. Sachin, can you mute yourself? Name of the file and mode of the file. Okay, for example, in order to operate on a file, you need to know what you are going to do with that file first. Whether you are going to only read it and print it, whether you are going to write from it and print it, whether you are going to do appending for an existing file, right? So all those things you need to know. Okay, when you know those, when you know what operation you are going to do on that file, that is what you are going to enter in the mode section. Okay, so these two things you must know, where what is one, what is the name of the file as well as the path. Okay, path and name will come here only. So path and name of the file, where it is residing and what is the name of the file, and mode of the file, what, in what mode do you want to open, so that you can carry on with your operation. Okay, let me demonstrate that by making use of this sum file. Now sum file is in the current directory, so I can just directly type sum file dot txt. Okay, or a better way to write is putting a slash and before that adding a dot. Okay, dot means current directory. Okay, it's understood by all operating systems. Dot means current directory. Okay, so you can just add dot slash sum file dot txt. So I'm saying in the current directory just open a file by name sum file. Now this time I only want to read. Okay, so if I want to only read, I will simply add r mode. I will talk about all the file modes that we have. Okay, but just for reading I will add as r, as f. Okay, and now I want to read the file. Okay, if I read the file, what happens? See, after I read the file, nothing happens. The read operation is done. Okay, 100% read operation is done, and automatically the file is also closed. Okay, that two things happen. So when you read it, okay, you better assign it to some variable. Okay, and then you print the variable. You see what happened? This file was opened in the read mode only. That means you will not be allowed to modify. Okay, if I type here f dot write, you see what is happening? A write operation takes one exact argument, 0 was given. Okay, so you have opened the file in read only. Okay, you even if you write something, let's just say hello. Okay, you see what happened? Not writable, because you have opened the file in read mode only. So for each operation you want to do, you have a dedicated mode. In that mode only you can open. So for now I will delete this, because I want to only read the file. I have opened the file, read the file, and I know what it is, what is inside the file. Is this clear? Is this understood how you open a file? Okay. Okay, all right, now let's look at various file modes we have. Okay, and then from there we will build our knowledge. So R is for, okay, default mode. This is called as default mode or reading mode. So sometimes if you forget to specify, although I think it will ask you to specify, but let's just say you forgot this. You wanted to open the file only to read, but you forgot this. Okay, you see it will still work. Why? Because reading mode is a default mode, which means even if you don't specify, it knows that you want to read the file. But if you try to write here without specifying write mode here, it will give you error. It will not work. Okay, so that you remember. And the second mode is write mode. We call it W W mode. Okay. Okay, W mode. Now in W mode, you can write to a file. Okay, and the thing is, it will create a new file. Okay, each time it will create one of it will create a new file if it doesn't exist. Okay, that is one thing. If it doesn't exist, it will create, and um, override if already exists. Okay, so that is what this mode is. Read mode we already saw. Now let's test the write mode. In write mode, if I give this W, that file already exists. Okay, and if I type write something like good morning students. Okay, and if you notice, okay, don't worry about what is the var value. I will okay, let me remove the var value also. Okay, so I executed this. Okay, now I want to check what is present in my file. This is old file. Okay, you see what happened. Previous values that you had have been deleted. So previously you had hello students, how are you. Now you have good morning students. So W mode will override whatever exists in the file currently, and it will allow you to write. And W mode will also allow you to create. Okay, increase the fonts. um, is this better? Okay, all right. Okay, so W mode will also allow you to create a file. Okay, let's just say new file. I will type um, new underscore file dot txt as W. If I write this, see that file doesn't exist. New file doesn't exist. And in the file, okay, fine. In the file, I want to have good morning students. Watch what happened. New file automatically popped up on the left. If you notice this file wasn't there. It came now. So W mode is used for both creation as well as overriding the file. Is this clear? Okay, next mode is append mode. Okay, so what it does is it writes to the end of the file. Okay, and it does not erase anything. Okay, okay, that is one. And file should already exist for this to work. Append mode. Let's just say we have a new file that we created. We want to test that append mode as here I want to type exams or tomorrow. Okay, exams or tomorrow. I'll just execute. Now what this A mode did is the file was already existing. Okay, this file, and if you notice wherever the end was, from there it started writing. So exams of tomorrow, it appended basically whatever you typed, it added to the existing content. Okay, that is what append mode is. But if a file doesn't exist already, if a file let's just say just file.txt. This is interesting. Okay, okay, fine. So append mode, I think this part is not required for append mode in that case. Okay, for append mode as well as write mode, okay, if a file does not exist, it will create the file. Earlier I think they have changed the behavior. Earlier in 3.7 Python 3.7, this used to be not the case. Okay, it used to be like append mode required a file to be existed, but I think they have made minor change anyway. So append mode and write mode, if you don't have the file it will create, and if you have the file, W will override, A will append. Clear? And now if this is clear, now we have something called plus modes. Okay, now R mode is a reading mode. Okay, that is already we know, but it also is a writing mode at the same time. Okay, so reading mode as well as a writing mode. So R plus is same as R plus W. Okay, that you can understand. And likewise we also have W plus. Likewise we also have A plus. Okay, now in W plus it is both writing and reading mode. Okay, exactly same as R plus. Okay, but if file does not exist, a new one is created. Okay, and append mode is same as appending to existing file. Okay, we will create new one if does not exist. Okay, that is the difference. So let's test that. So W mode, you all okay, file is there, right? We'll operate on this file. Here I will type R plus mode. Here I will modify. Here I will type W plus mode. In R mode, what I want to do is, it is opening for reading. That is fine. So if you notice what is present in the file, exams for tomorrow is already available. But what I wanna type instead is food is tasty, something like that. Food is tasty. I will write here, and I will also create this on a new file. Just a file .txt. Okay, both the things we will see. Let me add it, because sometimes if error comes, we won't be able to identify. So what I'm doing is, with R plus mode I'm opening the file, I'm also opening it to writing, so that I'm executed. If I have executed file.txt which already had, did I make mistake? Food is tasty. See, R mode is opening for reading as well as writing, in a way that, okay, whatever existing data was there, that is being replaced with the new data. And because there was something else that ended with tomorrow, and the file pointer, I will explain you how this thing works actually. But the file pointer which was pointing till here, because we passed the input till here only, so it stopped at that. Okay, and it closed the file, but whatever was remaining will continue to remain. So basically R plus mode is kind of uh, reading and writing mode, but more like overwriting mode. Okay, whatever exists, that will be overwritten. In write mode, that is not the case. Whatever exists will be destroyed and recreated. Okay, I have used delete and create with new content. Okay, that is what write mode does. Read mode reads, Write mode, already if something exists, that deletes it completely and creates whatever you have passed. A mode appends, this is clear. R plus mode is opening the file, writing the file. It's more like overwriting. So whatever extra part that was already remaining, that will continue to exist. Okay, but whatever the new content you have passed, that will overwrite on the older one. So that is R plus. Now W plus, okay, R plus, there is one more thing. I'm trying to create a new file. See, I'm with R plus one, I'm overwriting. For you to overwrite, a file should exist. Okay, that is what file should exist for you to overwrite, which which does not exist here. So I've just created just a file. Okay, it does not exist, hence it gave me an error, no such file will get. Okay, so R plus, you remember, it needs a file. The next thing is W plus. W plus is writing and reading mode. It exactly does same as R plus, but if a file doesn't exist, it will create a file. Okay, for example, let me take this one only. So in a file does not exist. Okay, it will create, even W will create. Okay, but here the W plus is, the additional thing is, it will allow you to see between W plus and W. Don't get confused. W destroys the file completely and creates a new file with whatever the content, but W plus is allowing you to overwrite. Okay, it's again the same as the W plus R. I'm writing W first simply because it's W, otherwise it's same as R plus W. Okay, either way, however you like to understand. um, so that is the difference. Food is tasty, but I have exams. Okay, if I type, just a file got created without content. Now what I'll do is, just for experiment, I will overwrite the same thing with something smaller. Okay, let's just say this part. Good morning, students. Okay, okay, let that be a wrong spelling, deliberately. Okay, now let's just open the file, just a file. See what happened? So the remaining part continued to exist. Okay, only the part that we wanted to overwrite so got overwritten. Is this clear? And whatever, if you notice one more thing, you are missing the exams. Why? Because previously when you had food is tasty, if you notice the length of this, okay, len of this is 31, but if you notice the len of this is 39. So basically what we did, we took 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We took 13, we replaced 13 with how many? Here this much, it's a big value, right? So 13 got replaced with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21. 13 got replaced with 21. That the difference whatever was there was had to be fit here. Okay, the extra word had to be fit here, so this thing was pushed. Okay, this thing was pushed to the end, hence we lost exams. So hence we lost this much. Okay, that's why you have only, but I have. What happened? This is crazy. Okay, 1 second, let me open. Okay, something wrong with my system, I think. Okay, anyway, fine. W plus, you understand that it is overwriting. Okay, but I think it's not actually moving the text. That is what I thought. Okay, it's not moving the text, but it's actually overwriting. Okay, with whatever you supply, just like R plus. Okay, is this clear? R plus and W plus. Mhm. You can use a no append if you want to append to the same file. Sure. So I will take the same file. Okay, good morning students, but I have exams, and I will add a space first. I have not studied. Okay, and I'm opening this file in a execute and refresh, open just a file. You have I have not studied. It got added to the end. Is this clear? Okay, yeah, no worries. All right, we also have a plus mode. So a plus mode, just like what it does, it writes to the end of the file. Okay, it does not erase anything, and it also creates a file if it does not exist. Let's look at that in action. To the same file, I will add append. Okay, I'm not study. Okay, and if you open, okay, you have I will study tomorrow. Is this understood? Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will create. Let me show you that. We, yeah, so very similar to AA. Okay, um, but okay, let me show you newer file. Okay, newer file .txt. I will study tomorrow. So it created a newer file, and you have I will study tomorrow. Okay, so EA plus mode does that. Okay. Anyway, so this is about modes, and there are some more modes. Okay, we call it. See, these are normal modes. First three are normal modes. Next three are plus modes. Next three are binary modes we have. Okay, binary modes means we have something called R binary. Okay, and then you have write binary. Okay, then you have append binary. Likewise, you also have R plus binary. So or we call it as um, RB plus. Okay, RB plus binary, RB, sorry, WB plus. Okay, right binary, and then we also have AB plus. Now binary means the difference is here you're reading text. Okay, you're reading text here, which is fine. So these will do just fine. But what if you had serialized content, the content that has been converted to ones or zeros, or the content that is coming letter by letter? Okay, there are two meanings here. Okay, in both the cases you use read binary, binary. Okay, so you can use RB or RB plus. um, I can show you binary file in Python. Okay, binary file example, or maybe what does the, okay, something like this. Okay, this thing that you see, this is a binary file, non-text file. Okay, if you want to read such files and do the same exact thing that we discussed now, what are the things that we discussed? Same as either you want to read the binary file or write the binary file or append to the binary file or read plus or write plus or a plus to the binary files, you do the same exact operations on binary files. That's why they are called as b. I don't have a binary file, I can create one certainly. Okay, which I will show you. I will try this wb, and then I'll do a rb. Okay, with open in the same current folder, I want to do some bin file dot txt. Okay, and the mode I wanna do is wb as of a pointer pointing to that write. Okay, f dot write with open bin file wb wb. Okay, what do I write? Some 0000, something like that, or maybe hello. Let's see. Okay, bin, yeah, that's because it's a string. Yeah, okay, let me try something else like, okay, use OA prefix for octal. Okay, 0 for octal. Okay, anyway, fine, let me try. Nope, I'll have to copy some binary code from somewhere else. Slash, no, not slash v. I will have to prefix with O. No, okay, let me do one thing. Let me copy somewhere, from somewhere. uh, okay, this is all in images. Anyway, it's fine. Okay, I will show you when I get a file. But you get the idea, right? So if the content of a file is like in codes like this, in the form of bytes, okay, bytes or bits, 4 bits, whatever, so that is when you make use of this b mode. Okay, um, so you can use that mode then, but for now let's don't worry about it. The main modes we are going to use are what we have learned here. Okay, is this clear? Up until this point? Okay, now what they did was, very recently, let me try this first. So recently I think they added 3 more modes. Okay, one is called as x mode, small x, yeah, small x mode. Here this is used for exclusive creation. Okay, which means if the file does not exist, it will it should throw an error, something like that. Okay, but it created a new file. Study tomorrow. Okay, fine. So if a file does not exist, it will create a error. Okay, just like what we saw. They added another 3 more. Let me at least list it down. That, so X mode means these are 3 modes. It means exclusive creation. It means for it to work, file Okay, sure. Where did you get this code? Okay, okay, no worries. What is happening? I'm trying to not able to actually copy paste, but let me try again. Nope, not able to copy paste. Okay, no worries, fine. We'll get the opportunity. Yeah. Okay. So X mode means exclusive creation, which means the file should not exist. If it exists, it will throw an error. That is what we saw just now. We tried to overwrite this file. See, let me delete this file first. Okay, now it does not exist. If it doesn't exist, we are saying exclusively create it, which means it should not exist for it to create. Now it will work. But now that the file already exists, if I try to create it again, it will say file already exists, you can't use this mode on a existing file. Okay, X mode is for creation only. Okay, that you remember. And likewise you also have XB, which is for same, you as you understood, it's a binary creation. Okay, sorry, creation of binary file, I can put it that way. Okay, exclusive creation of binary file. And then you also have something called XB plus. And again, if you have, I think you have already guessed it correctly, it's creation for both reading and writing. Okay, this is in writing mode only, writing mode. Okay, and that is X plus. X plus is, sorry, there is one more, my bad. So X is for exclusive creation. X plus mode is also there. This one is for reading and writing. Okay, and XB is for creation of binary file. XB plus is creation of um, yeah, both reading. Okay, so these are the modes that are available in Python. But don't worry, don't worry about these or these for now. Okay, these things are required only in advanced stages. For now, we just concentrate on only these: read, write, append, and then R plus, W plus, A plus. Okay, that is one. And second thing, let's do one thing. We have seen the syntax of with open. Let's also try to perform various operations. Okay, let's see what operations are available for us. If I do a dir of f, and f is my pointer pointing to a file, which means I'm literally checking directory of files and folders. What are all the methods are available for me? There are so many. Okay, so if you notice, you have from buffer, close, detach. So all these methods are available. Okay, so this close, let's start one by one. So close is, let's just say you open a file. Okay, yeah, I will use R only. Open of some file you did, file.txt, and then you specified the reading mode. Now if I type print of var, okay, you notice what is happening is just a file object. Okay, now for me to access the content for I in var, okay, print I, you see what happened. So when you open var, when you open this file and assign it to a variable, file object has been created. Now in order for you to read the content, you will have to iterate over it. Okay, so this is one way. Now that it is done, okay, now that we have done reading, we have to close it. That is where you use this close. Now if you want to check if it is closed, okay, fine, it's not callable. If you want to check if that file is closed after closing, you can use closed. So that is the use of this close and closed. Okay, is this clear? Okay, all right. So we will, I want to take a short break here. Okay, um, we will come back at 10:10. Would that be fine? We'll quickly finish the breakfast because I haven't had, sorry, I got up late, my bad.